What are you doing, beloved?
Attention, attention, my black brothers. What I want y'all to do right now is take out the do-rag, the silky, tie it down. I want to see the waves glistening. If you got nappy hair, pick it. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Ariel.
Black boy.
Hi, girly. Hi, sister. How are
Hey.
you?
Oh.
You're discombobulated right now with your drink. Oh, I need to refill mine.
Yeah, the shit just poured all over me. I literally just opened it
Wait,
up.
what do you drink? Wait, what are you drinking?
So today I'm doing sparkling wine. And as
What?
soon as I
Wait.
opened it, it literally said
Okay, let's show our bottles on 3.
No, I'm not doing the bottom of the glass.
The what?
You got a bottle of sparkling too?
Yes.
Oh, all right, hold on.
I think this is sparkling.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Is that the same?
No, I got let me hold it carefully.
Oh, girl, you got barefoot bubbly. I have Moscato.
I wasn't
Is
paying.
Moscato?
I wasn't paying a whole bunch of. Usually, I'll go with like a dry brute, but I wasn't doing that shit because it was a snowstorm and I was just trying to have enough to get lit.
Is when? Right now?
No, I bought that like.
I was like,
I just never
where?
touched it because I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with that now?
I was like, where's the snowstorm? Sis, we haven't had an episode by ourselves in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, shit is crazy.
It's crazy. You know, we usually have our like check-ins and all that, and we haven't had our intimate conversations or just like conversations with each other. So this is going to be very interesting because we haven't done this in a while. But I miss you.
I miss you too.
I love our guests, but also just like love talking to you too.
Yeah, sometimes we just need some time to just be the two of us.
Yes, I'm like
I'm present, but child, I don't know what is going on. Everything is so weird. Like, and it just got weird in like the last 30 minutes. Just like things are a little off. I'm not like disturbed, but I don't know. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. Like things are just really odd. Like I spilled that damn drink. I feel like this space doesn't belong to me right now. Like somehow my room doesn't feel like it's mine.
oh my God, girl, you're in the twilight zone. This is weird. Like in 30 minutes, everything just like came at you like whoa.
Literally like whoosh, and I was like, this is odd. What is this? What's going on here?
I mean, I think that's helpful because this episode we're definitely going to get into like our mental, emotional, physical mindset right now, like in the current climate that we're in with the world and also with our mental clarity. So today's episode we're definitely going to check in with each other and then also talk about some other juice like we always do. But this episode definitely is going to be like a check in with each other type. So hopefully we can get to the root of what made these last 30 minutes so for you.
I mean, shit. My fucking sleeve is soaked. My damn seat is soaked. My floor is soaked.
Yeah,
I'm a wet bitch.
So that happened like a couple episodes back. Remember?
I do.
Like, I was literally sitting in a pool of liquor.
Yeah, I remember when that shit right before we started recording.
And I
now know what that feels like.
I was sitting in like literally my underwear and a towel around my waist because I was like, yeah, I was literally like, I couldn't clean it up because it was red, but lucky I got it up like as much as I could. But I definitely get your
current
your
state.
feelings, your current state. But I mean,
nice to be seen.
Yes, but what is up, everyone? It is your boy Lord Debris,
and I'm Derwin King,
and welcome back to another episode of That Black Boy Joy, where we create a space where Black boys can be themselves
and so much more.
It's just us Black boys loving other Black boys, and we're here. I hope everything is like. I hope you get to the root, sis. I hope we're gonna get to this freaking root of it. Because listen, I have been off. Like something's been in the air recently with me, with also like my friendships as well, which is so weird.
Ooh.
Like that's so like I've just been like checking in with my friends and also recognizing that they're also in this mindset of burnout or like their mental, emotional, or physical is somewhat like tilted. Like the balance is like definitely like it's
Our
nothing.
lives hanging in the balance.
It's like, and it's so interesting that all of us are like in these conundrums of like confusion, and I'm
And
like,
it's not Mercury retrograde because that shit's over.
it
So
is. I don't know what it is. I think it may be, we're about to hit this year of the pandemic. Like we're about to be 1 year in when we thought it was going to be like a couple of days, a 2 week thing.
we got PTSD.
We got PTSD.
Our brains know that we're embarking upon the year anniversary of this bullshit. Do you
Yeah.
remember? Oh my god, it was like a year ago that we did the one episode, like at the
Mhm.
beginning of this shit.
Because when the pandemic hit, we did an episode together, and then the next episode we were like separated.
Bitch, what a time to be
We
alive.
were like, oh my god, there's a pandemic happening. Like we're on like
A bitch like me
lockdown.
was so amused. Like I was like, wow, look at shit just falling to pieces. I thrive in chaos.
We were
And
like,
now I'm sitting here like, damn, bitch, we really been sitting in this bitch for like 366 goddamn days with no end in sight. Ha 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 ha. Oh wow. Wow. Wow.
you thought, motherfuckers. That's how it is.
Genuine like shock right now because okay, so let me tell you how I hung out with two of my castmates the other day. And we were just sitting there talking and someone said something about the pandemic.
Mhm.
And it clicked in my mind. I was like, damn, I've been drinking this whole pandemic because a bitch has been stressed.
Sis,
And then
yes.
I happened to be sober that day. So it all just runs into my brain. And I was like, oh my God, we've been in a pandemic for a year. Oh my God, Black people have through such. Oh my God, the fucking Donald Trump shit is just worse and worse and worse every day. Oh my God, Texas just went through a horrible like
Florida flooded, California was on fire.
Ebola is
Like-
back in West Africa. Like I was just sitting there silently having like a fucking conniption. Like I was just like, whoa. So, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want y'all to feel like I know life is bleak right now. I'm not trying to like project that shit onto everyone, but damn.
No, but like you're being transparent in your mind in a space, and I think that you're not the only one that has felt this like world crashing down on you mentally. Like I definitely like get what you're saying. I definitely understand it. I definitely feel like our viewers and listeners feel the same way. It is just your like, thought process, but I think there's people out there that agree with you. I for a fact agree with you. Like this is why this episode is happening today, because also like our last episode, we're going to get into that into the meat and potatoes, but of course, we're going to get into our Black Boy Joy spotlight for the week. And this week's Black Boy Joy spotlight is it's a man of the name. I always get like weird. His Instagram is _Manny Moves, but his actual name is Emmanuel Robinson. He is a middle school teacher that has recently gone viral on social media with him basically teaching his students in Atlanta, Georgia. So he was a little background about him. I actually met him before. He actually used to teach here in the DMV, but now he has moved to Maryland, and he has a video right now going viral of him teaching his
Atlanta?
students. Yes. What did I say?
Maryland. It's okay.
Maryland, yeah.
Like, I got
he recently was in the DMV, but has now since moved to Atlanta. And there's a video about him going viral of him teaching his students the like PEMDAS, like,
that's him.
yes, that's him. And he's over there, Corvette.
Where's
And
in his thing?
I wanted raw.
They said, when did teachers start looking like party promoters? And I was like, I don't know, but I want me one of them. He looked like he got a
Right.
big old dick. Is that inappropriate? Should I not have said that? Okay.
It's out now. I mean, he's going viral because I think he's Teacher Bay. Of course, we're having another episode of like Teacher Bay and all that, and it was really nice, more so for me to see a male representation in a teacher atmosphere. I work in education, so I absolutely love it.
We love male teachers, honestly. No, seriously. Like, especially how old were those kids? They were
middle schoolers.
I
Yeah.
think it's perfect because usually you see male teachers in like the high school setting, so it's great that they were younger kids.
Mm-hmm. And it just was dope just to see another man. And he also like was tatted up, so it wasn't something like he was like very like buttoned up to the collar. He was very much a millennial.
He was like, "I got you, bruh," and I was
Right.
like, "Hell yeah. I want you to have
Corvette. Like I met him at I think in Gallery Place. And we met, it was like a Bar Louise. He was pretty cool. He was definitely cool.
He's straight. All right, so let's get into our hot topics. You don't know. It seemed like you don't know. Is it assumed that he's straight?
Okay. Allegedly.
Oh.
Allegedly. I can't even say allegedly. I don't even want to put his information out there.
I was going to
say. So when I met him, I think he was bi. To my knowledge, he is bi. However, I don't know if he's publicly stated this to people like out loud, but I definitely knew him as bi at the time when I met him.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So I was like,
maybe I shouldn't ask. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You know how certain people present. I don't know, what audience he's trying to attract. So, I mean.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think he just loves, whatever's
I just asked so I could feel comfortable.
Lust.
Yeah, that's exactly why I asked. I asked for me.
Again, this is alleged, you all. If he updates his status or if he actually tells you all what it is, then by all means. But last time I checked, I think he was.
As long as it's clear that I'm attracted to him. All right.
Yes. And shout out to Emmanuel Robinson, aka _Manny Moves on Instagram and Twitter. You all should check him out. He is a great teacher and also just a wonderful person. So let's get into the rant. So I don't want to say hot topics because I also automatically think about Wendy Williams. So I feel like we should come up with a different name for it. But right now, let's do rants with Dev and Dev. We can figure out something later off camera.
Okay. I'm down with that. So are you caught up on WandaVision?
Yes. Oh.
It was Agatha all
along. It was Kenya all along. It was Kenya who's stirring all the drama.
She's a rat. She's a fucking rat. Get up, Karen.
So I am caught up on WandaVision.
What do you feel about it?
Yeah, I love it.
I thought the last episode was great. I love the Modern Family viewpoint. I think was it the Office part as well?
I think it was more so Modern Family with the definite, but I think it had Office-esque type of thing.
Yeah, when they went to work with Vision, it seemed like they were doing more of a The Office sort of thing.
He didn't go to work this episode, girl.
Oh, was that a preview for the next episode?
I think that was the next episode. Because I don't think this
Or was it the last episode?
Last episode, he wasn't at work. Remember, spoilers. We're giving y'all some spoilers. He was at the carnival.
I'm confused.
With Darcy.
Confusion.
The last episode, he's at the carnival with Darcy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
But he did do work. He did do work once back in I think the 70s and the 80s.
I just remember there being a scene that I saw on Twitter of his coworker, the brown guy, and he was like, he touched his head to figure out what the hell was going on, and then he was like, "Oh, help me! It's so sad."
Yeah, I think that was the 80s. I think that was the 80s.
Oh wow!
Themed. The Office did this episode. This most recent one did give Office vibes with the fourth wall, breaking of the fourth wall.
But that was more like Modern Family.
Yeah, that was definitely Modern Family. So, but yes, I am caught up.
Am I right?
Yes, you're right. I've caught up and I love it. I am excited for tonight's episode or to early morning because I think they drop at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but do you get up early in the morning to watch that shit?
No, I don't. I do not get up
before work. I do that, but most of the time I don't have a lot of time before I'm supposed to be on the computer, so I'll watch it right after my work day. I don't get on Twitter to see what's going on anyway. I did see that it was Agatha all along, but luckily for me, I have the encyclopedia and I had already done my research, so I knew it was about to be Agnes /
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I like to have the information. And it wasn't like it was about to be a spoiler. Like the comics exist, so there are people who already knew this was going to happen to begin with. So I did all the research, and I was like, okay, so Agnes is likely Agatha.
Yeah.
And then that also probably means that she's the villain.
Yeah, Agatha Darkness is Agnes. Wait, yeah, Agatha Darkness is Agnes.
I think it's Harkness.
Harkness. Yeah, Agatha Harkness is Agnes, whatever. So I'm like, ooh, I'm interested. I'm really
It's a good show.
excited. And then
The blacks
also,
love it. The blacks and the gays and the black gays
yes, because
specifically.
it's representation. It's cute. We also like We Are Geeks, and then
Shout out
also like
to Monica Rambeau.
Monica,
Absolutely.
her character as well, which was excellent because that's also how they describe her getting her
Yeah.
powers is some like radio, like some very much she's like something transmitted intergalactic, very
Right.
much
Yes. Yes. They
just
say that
something
she
like
got it
that.
from like some extraterrestrial type of shit, but it would make sense for it to be Wanda. I think that's perfect. Also, shout out to Tiana Paris for getting that Marvel check. I'm pretty certain. So her character will eventually become Spectrum, or at least in the comics, she eventually becomes Spectrum. So I'm hoping they'll give her her own film or TV show or something.
And she also becomes the second Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, absolutely. Now that
So
I read in the encyclopedia.
that I knew that I knew for a fact. So I was excited when we saw. I love when we see people's like background stories, or like we could like I can like, okay, this is how they got it in the Marvel universe and things like that. So I'm like super excited to see. We only have I think 2 more episodes left, 2 or 3. So I'm definitely
Yo, it's
excited.
almost over. I gotta watch the Loki one. I mean, I'm kind of excited about Loki. Oh shit.
Hmm. And
Okay. I'm it's not that I don't want to watch Loki. He's not someone that excites me. I'm gonna watch his show anyway because I'm sure it's gonna be pretty interesting. But I just make a great decision with the other show selections. Like I don't want to see what's his name, the
oh,
Falcon.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Why the fuck would I give a shit about either of them? What does it have
Yeah,
to do with me?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I
I
would
think I prefer
love.
female leads, and that's probably my issue anyway. As I just want to watch women on TV. I don't. Why would I want to watch a show about two men?
Yeah,
Boo! Moya
we
Moya
already
boring.
we already have that. We already have that. Also, okay, I don't know. I'm like really a geek for like so it's like gaming. Of course. Did you see the Mortal Kombat trailer?
I did not. I mean, I
Okay,
did, but I just didn't care about it.
I know. I'm super excited for the Mortal
I'm.
Kombat trailer.
When does it come out?
Great. Ooh, bitch, you hit me with something I do
Oh, my
not
bad.
recall. I do not recall. I don't
Oh, y'all
remember.
are really testing me on some stuff that I don't.
Me too.
Say it. I hope I
I
don't sound
was like,
ridiculous.
I don't know that girl. I don't know that. I don't know her. There was a lot of people it was a lot of people asking like where Katana was and where also Jax was because I mean not Jax,
The
Jake,
women? Are
yeah,
these the
Jackie.
women?
Just like like gamers and
Oh,
like
okay. I was ready
fans.
to say.
So what
I'm
was his
about to say
name again? Not Jackie, not Jack. Oh my God. Oh my God. I forgot the white man.
I
What
wish
is
I
the
could help
white
you.
man's name? Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage. We did not see him in the trailer. We
That's not.
also didn't see Katana in it. So we are definitely excited to see what's going to happen with the movie. But we did see Melina, Sonya Blade, Briggs's Storm. Oh, not Storm. Raiden, Scorpion, um, Sub Zero, and some other folks. So I'm excited for that. I
I
got to give you
don't
that information.
know none of what you just said. And you said Johnny Cage, and I was like, Johnny Test. I was like,
Not Johnny Test, not Johnny Bravo, Johnny
Johnny
Cage.
Cage. I got you.
That was all. That was my little update. You can
No, I fuck
continue.
with that. Girl, have your moment, child.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I have. Yes, I have. Recently, like just literally on social media today, I got snapshots.
oh man.
So yeah, I definitely saw this on social media, so I am a little bit aware.
So Salt Lake City had their finale for the reunion yesterday. I think it was a good close. One of the first times in a while someone mentioned this on
Twitter.
Twitter that it was one of the first times in a while that we've seen housewives walk away with a resolution. Because after Potomac, which was just in the air,
Yeah.
these women, I think the difference is that number one, they don't hate each other. they kind of dislike each other. A lot of communicative issues there, but they're friends for the most part. And the people who aren't friends, you can clearly tell they aren't.
I personally, watching what I watched and also seeing a reunion, I think Heather is very bitter.
So I like Heather. Okay, I want
Yeah.
to be clear before I like all of the women. Maybe not Mary so much, but I like
Yeah.
all of them. Heather is so stuck on whatever it is that Lisa has done to her, and I'm like, okay, girl, just let it go. And maybe you don't
Yeah.
even have to let it go, but calm down.
Yeah, like I was watching, I was like, she's really trying to break up anybody that's connected to
So
Lisa.
Lisa,
Anybody. She's like, oh, did you see Meredith? She didn't stick up for you. Or, oh, Jen,
she
look at
was like, you got that emotion, that empathy you have for Meredith. Where is that for me? I want you to have that for me. And I would be like, bitch, didn't you sit up there and tell me that your thumbs up to me wasn't a fuck you and then get in your confessional and say that it
say it
was
was
a
a
fuck
fuck
you?
you.
Do you want to be my friend or not? What is it that you want from me? She needs to handle that shit like Whitney and simply say, bitch, you don't like me. That's fine. I don't really care that much for you. I'm cool.
Yeah, and also like Lisa was like said that I tried to call you and I left voicemails and you so it just purposely looks like to me Heather wants to be petty.
She
I
wants to
think
be a
she wants to
victim.
hold on to this grudge of Lisa saying that she doesn't know her or Lisa feeling like she's above her. And then also, she was saying that I feel like Jen has put me on the back burner because she feels like she's upgraded with Meredith and Lisa. I'm just like, girl, build a bridge and get over
Get
it. You are
over
grown.
it.
You're a grown ass woman.
Seriously, though.
And the fact that you're being very like manipulative to try to break up people that are connected to me, it's like, girl, you have other things that you need to worry about. Why are you trying to literally break up my friendships? Like, you don't
And
want
what
anybody to be friends with me.
and what is it about Jen's friendship that is so valuable to her? Because and there's also this thing I feel like Jen and Heather are like two sides of the same coin. Like
Hmm.
Heather likes to pretend like she's a victim, but we have watched her try to isolate Jen for her own like benefit. So I believe that there's a part of there's a certain type of narcissism in both of them. They're just different types or they show up differently.
Yeah.
Her narcissism shows up as a victim, and actually so does Jen's, but Jen is so passionate and outward about her emotions that she's just
Yeah.
like, listen to me, talk to me.
How do you, so I want to get onto that because how do you feel about Jen like pushing this conversation about, having colored women be named aggressive?
Oh, first of all, let's get into colored women. Let's just
Let's
start
get
there.
into that. I was definitely kind of like not thrown off, but like she was very much. I was like, first of all, nobody has ever.
I'm a colored woman.
I was like,
As a colored woman,
me and Mary can relate. I was like, wait,
Mary said,
nobody's ever said women of her color or her stature or her ethnicity is aggressive, right?
now
Now
I
let's get into
will.
that.
So let's get into the aggressive conversation because I do think that she she lunged at Whitney, which was an
Yes,
aggressive thing to do.
yes,
She acted as if she was going to hit Whitney, and she
yes.
pushed. Who did she push? Heather.
Mm-hmm.
So at the point that you've put your hands on someone aggressively, you are being aggressive. The
And she also said
difference.
she was going to bury her.
Yes, she said she was going to drown her in her pool and like bury her in her
Backyard.
but when Jen was talking at the reunion, Heather said, "You're being aggressive right now," and
Yeah.
that was simply not a truth. She was being
Yes.
passionate. There is a huge difference between her full on attacking Whitney in Vegas and her passionately expressing herself at the reunion. And unfortunately, Jen created a environment for people to call her aggressive based on the time that she actually was aggressive.
Yeah.
So now here we are.
Yeah, I definitely was like I know a little bit of it. I did my little research. I I, I don't want to say that this, but it is. I'm just going to say it and just get it off my chest.
Yeah, let's hear it.
It comes off. She does come off aggressive. There's multiple interactions
Yes.
that we actually have seen of her being aggressive, not verbally aggressive or, being also physically aggressive.
Mhm.
Like even in this space on the reunion, she was not listening to anybody's like explanations. Like when I think Whitney was talking and Heather, and this is my like I didn't watch the show, so sis, get me together.
Well,
But
yeah, well, because there was a period I was so proud of her where she realized, I think like it actually clicked in her brain. oh wow, I've caused a lot of problems here.
She apologized.
And she did apologize, and it was clearly a sincere apology because it didn't come with manipulative tears. It came with tears like, "Damn, like I fucked up. I know I fucked up, and I'm sorry for fucking up." And
Yeah.
I think that's a great first step.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Also, Mary was getting caught in so many lies on the reunion.
He's a liar.
And it was really uncomfortable. I was like, I really wish I want to go back to watch it now because when when Mary was making those things, I don't go in the stores if black men are outside of it, and
Wow. She
I
said
only like,
it.
and I only like white men and not black men. Like, there's definitely some internal like racism or some internal hatred for her own color, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
no, absolutely. While Jen is not a black woman, she has black sons and she's married to a
yes,
black man. And I definitely think that she was genuinely offended by what Mary said. Because also Mary is a light-skinned black woman married to a light-skinned man with a light-skinned child.
yeah,
So I think with Jen being married to a dark man and her children being brown/browner than Mary's husband and child, I
yeah,
definitely think that she almost seems like she has a better awareness of racism than Mary does.
she does.
And I don't have a problem with saying that. I'm not saying that her being married to a black man and having like kids means that she is like incapable of being racist. I also think took on some of
Yeah.
she took on some of the anti-black racism that didn't belong to her. Is it
Mm-hmm.
possible that as a brown woman they are categorizing her in a way without giving her the space to just be an emotional person? Yes.
Mm.
She also just happened to be the only one on the cast who acted a damn fool. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that is like two things can be true at once. Two things can be true at once. Heather and Whitney know
Whitney.
absolutely nothing about racism.
Yep.
I'm not going to listen to anything that either of them has to say about racism. I don't believe that they know what it looks like. I don't believe that they know when they're perpetuating it. So it was nothing that either of them could say that would make me feel like, oh, they're not racist, because they probably are to some degree. I think Whitney was liking MAGA posts, and I like Whitney, but I can't fuck with that. Whitney's
Hmm.
friend was like at the fucking insurrection. Like,
Ooh. Didn't know this, girl. Didn't know this.
yeah, low key Whitney's MAGA. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm not, and I don't, and all Heather does is fetishize black men. All of
Yeah.
it.
She does.
That man
Yeah.
came in there trying to get to know her, and he got his little Shirley Temple, and she judged the fuck out of him for not being a big brutish nigga who wanted to dick her down. Like, let's be clear here. Let's be clear here. Heather's all
All
cool and
right.
dandy, but she's not absolved of being a white woman in Utah who's more than likely racist. I mean, really.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh. Speaking of which, have you heard like what's going on with the Bachelor right now? There's like a lot of stuff that's happening with like one of the females blatantly being like racist, going to like a plantation era type of party, and then the host basically like justifying her actions.
The
And now
host.
he's the
No, I
host, the
did see
guy.
he had to be
Yeah.
removed.
And he has stepped down from being the host of the show. The interview that I watched with him and Rachel was very uncomfortable because
Rachel who?
she was the first black woman that was a bachelorette.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes. And he was being so white,
They had to get
privileged,
Rachel to do this conversation.
man. And it was so funny because Rachel was calm, cool, and collective, letting him dig his own grave. She was
Why did they choose to have Rachel do it?
nobody. And first of all, I think the Bachelor is very white, and I think she's the only one that can have these conversations about, you know, she also has a podcast and has been very much opinionated and intellectually opinionated about The Bachelor. She's been on like,
Okay.
you know, Watch What Happens Live, and like
Okay.
she has a podcast and things like that. So I
So
think
she
her
was qualified to
facilitated.
have the conversation.
She was qualified to have the conversation. She's also a black woman. So nobody in The Bachelor. This is like interesting because this is also during the same space of where they have their first black
Man.
bachelor man,
Yeah.
biracial.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah,
Good.
the guy that was the host of the show was basically like, we don't know the background of, why, if she was actually there. We don't know what was going on. We don't know if she was actually there. She hasn't spoken about it, so we can't assume. We have to wait on her voice. But I would like to say, back in 2018, racism and all that stuff wasn't a real thing. And I was just like, and he was just like, that was the era. Like, I think she's going to talk about it, and I know she's going to speak out. And I was just like,
and Rachel didn't. She didn't let him.
Rachel was just. She was basically saying like, well, there's videos out, there is the history behind these type of things. Like she's doing that, but she wasn't like going back and forth with them, right?
I love it when white people say that racism wasn't a thing at any point in the last 600 years.
And he kept doing this thing of like saying like, people weren't woke back then, right? He was putting this very much belittlement of people being enlightened or no longer taking the shit. It was like, people weren't woke then.
White people. Lest we not forget that many of us, for the first time in our black ass lives, watched the world say that a black child's life did not matter when we watched Trayvon Martin's murderer get off. Lest we not forget that many of us had to go through that same trauma with Michael Brown. So it's so interesting to me that white people in the last year have opened their eyes and genuinely believe that this level of scrutiny of racism is new, when it's really just that they, as usual, are completely behind on acknowledging it.
Yes. And that was the whole conversation. And I was in my head just like so uncomfortable with, because he was casually just like saying like, oh, it's, like, I don't know if she was really there. She hasn't spoke about it, so we can't confirm it. But I do know when she does speak about it, she will, but I was like, how don't you know that she was there when there's pictures of it? But for a fact that when she does speak about it, that she will like, be eloquent or something. I was like,
I have two questions. Number one, why would he know what is his allegiance to her?
Nothing. That was the thing. That was also the conversation was like, he was very on her side. He was very much
on racism side.
He was on racism side. So I think that was the thing where he had to apologize. He had to make a statement and apologize because he was basically condoning racism.
Clearly. He clearly made a way, because are they known to be close? Like, why did they ask him in the first place? Why was he asked? That was my second question. Why was he asked in the first place?
I don't know. It was also that thing on the show where he sat down with The Bachelor and was asking him about how does he feel about being the first black man, which I did not think was beneficial. I didn't think he needed to sit in front of a white man and tell him that why is him being a bachelor of color so important. I think he could have did that in a confessional and had one of the producers talking to him, because to me it was explaining why diversity is important to a white man, and it was to me not conducive. So just to wrap it up, it goes to show, and also when Rachel was like, is The Bachelor going to step in and talk about, these allegations? And he said that we're not going to speak about it. We're going to let Rachel speak about it, which goes to show, and there's been multiple occasions in my understanding, and y'all can quote me if I'm wrong, when The Bachelor has not been diverse. We all know that this is like their umpteenth thousand season. We've had our first black man and our first woman of color, black man of color and woman of color in these couple of years. So it is not really in the space of supporting diversity and inclusion. So I think this is so ironic that it is happening when we have a biracial contestant as The Bachelor right now. So I don't watch The Bachelor because it's not diverse, but I have been hearing about these racist things that I'm sure more of the contestants are racist. She just has been caught up in it. So that's my little segment on what in the world with The Bachelor.
I can't believe that. That made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Now you done pissed me off.
There's also another show that I've been watching. Okay, we're gonna go into what we have on the script.
What is it?
So I don't know if you would know what No Jumper is on YouTube, right? So No Jumper is this like very much hip hop type of YouTube podcasting thing where like rappers come on and talk to people and like we get into their music and things like that. So last a couple of months ago, there was an episode with this guy named AD, who was a rapper, and OT Genesis, who was a rapper as well. They're both from LA. And the co-host, AD's co-host, this girl named Yazzie and her friend. So they are very drunk, more so OT Genesis. And we get into this podcast that is very uncomfortable to watch because we are seeing OT be belligerently drunk and just be very weird. And we start to see the girls get uncomfortable on this on it. And there's like jokes being passed along. There's OT is saying, calling one of the girls Miss Nipple or Mrs. Nipple and blase. And then we get to this point where it escalates to the one of the young ladies saying to OT Genesis, "Oh, baby boy," something of that nature. And this is when the conversation gets real weird because the girl also says, if this is a media game, you'll be put in the grave. So OT Genesis is a Crip. Right? So when she said that, he was like, don't threaten me, right? Do not threaten me. You don't know this game. Like, I can go home and go to sleep, but you, on the other hand, I could have somebody on your head when you leave. So there was backlash with this episode because people have been recently saying that she was out of character. She was disrespecting him.
Was she a white woman?
She was a black woman. She was a girl of color. She was a girl of color. And it was my issue with this episode. And I'm going to vocalize it. And I've actually put on YouTube. There was a power dynamic in that space that made me so uncomfortable to watch. And it was seeing these two men, also AD is these two men be very belligerent. Well, one man belligerent and the other one allowing his friend, who was a guest, complicit in his friend being drunk and all that stuff, right? And we see these two girls. They're supposed to be doing like a best friend episode. So they had asked, what do you want in a man and things like that, and interrogated the girl and like, oh, you can't bring nothing to the table, so you're really not, just being very weird.
Excuse me?
Yes.
On their platform?
On their platform. I'm going to send you the episode, sis, because it's very weird. But it was very uncomfortable for me to watch because, for example, we are co-hosts, right? If I bring a co-host on the show, if I bring a guest on the show and you bring a guest on the show and our guests are like being disrespectful to each other or disrespectful to the space, there was also moments when AD was telling his co-host to just shut up. He was telling her to shut up. However, he was never telling his friend to calm down. His friend was belligerently drunk to the fact where he was on the ground, shoes up in the air, crackling on the podcast, blase. So long story short, the girl that said, call OT Genesis baby boy, and if this was a media game, you'll be in the grave, all of that stuff. She's been getting like death threats and people.
My fucking good.
Yes.
Hey, can we move on? I
yes, we can move on. But
all I have to say about that is I cannot continue to watch men, let alone black men, completely disregard and disrespect women on such an egregious level.
Yes.
It is actually making my stomach hurt to imagine that. I think back to so many of the things that I've heard in the last couple of months. Boosie saying we need to take back our power. Somebody said that because black men don't have white privilege, they double down on patriarchy. And I just wish that black men were self-aware enough to know that they're doing that, because it comes out in the most horrific ways. And I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of women being the victims to that. I am tired of it residually falling on gay and LGBTQ black people as a result, because misogyny is absolutely at the root of homophobia. I will always say that.
It is.
I will always say that.
It is that. And I think that was what bothered me was so much. The comments, when I tell you the comments were saying that she didn't know her place and women like her, she needed to respect OT, he can, so I didn't like it. It was a very uncomfortable show for me to watch, to see a man. Also, they had did an after review of it. I'm trying to sum this up, and she stepped up and acknowledged, maybe I said some offensive thing to somebody that is affiliated with Crips. Maybe I said some things that I shouldn't have said.
Is the problem that he was affiliated with Crips, or that he was affiliated with a gang and she said something that could be interpreted as a threat versus
Yes.
actually it being a truth? I think what she was
Yes.
saying was that, like, this doesn't reflect well on your image, which is that's
Yeah.
what I got from that. Was that not
Yeah.
what she was saying?
She was saying, like, he was saying, like, like, girl, you don't want this energy, like, I got connections out here. And she was like, well, if this is a media game, because she's known, I guess, allegedly in a media game.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could.
So when she said that, to me, power came into the conversation, because it was like, you don't ever put nothing on nobody that you ain't, because she's not from there. So they're like, you can't be saying stuff like that because you can get misconstrued. It was so uncomfortable for me to watch. And I don't know gang life. I'm not affiliated. It was more so, yeah, it was the power dynamics in that space. So those are just my little two things. So I did not, I know, but
No,
let's
I'll
move
take
on.
it. Let's move on. I don't even know. I guess really quickly, because I don't think we have to delve into either of these things.
Yeah.
Twitter gets its first paywalls, so they're gonna start allowing people to charge for content. Like, it's OnlyFans. Twitter, the Dominion, the monopoly. That's what I was looking for. I guess they mean the same thing. The monopoly continues. Twitter, like any other social media platform, is taking components from other platforms so that they can stay relevant. So they're going to allow people to charge for content. So, i.e., people are going to start charging for their Twitter porn. Twitter porn has always been free, or it's been slight previews of the content going on OnlyFans. I personally don't want to spend more of my funds on porn, so I used to compile those clips up in enough content to get me there.
I love it.
If that won't be an option anymore, I will simply have to use my imagination and go back to reading erotic books. I will personally step back into the old ages before I continue to give more of my money to people who don't deserve it. That isn't an individual issue. I'm not saying that individual content creators don't deserve my money. If anything, they probably need it. What I am saying is that I'm tired of capitalism just constantly growing palms to choke me with. Like, it's just like always something. It's always something attempting to take our money, and as that continues to happen, the economic disparity increases. The wealth gap increases. The chasm just continues to grow.
Yeah, I think now just these social media platforms are just, it's becoming, girl, these conversations, these hot topics, these rants. Yeah, social media is definitely just becoming something that's just lucrative. Like, every platform now you just can make money off of. And I think it's not becoming fun anymore to post. I think now is becoming the space of if intentionality, or, putting up this facade. Like, it's too many spaces where you just can't be just authentic now.
And it's not like we can log out and go hang out with each other. Like,
no, we can't, because we're all over the world. So I did, like, I'm kind of upset, because Twitter was one of those places where people were, just being free and all that, but now it's coming at a cost for certain people. I'm just like, they got rid of Tumblr, little freak stuff.
I still get on there, and honestly, the porn is back on Tumblr, just so you know. Yeah, they got rid of like most of it, but you can still go and see I see porn on Tumblr damn near every time I log on. I don't get on as often as I used to, but I get notifications still, because the girls love me over there.
They love you over on Tumblr.
So I go on here and indulge.
I need to check back in, though. I haven't been on Tumblr since a couple of my favorites have no longer posted.
Yeah, no, that happens too. People stop using it, and it'd be the people you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
The last thing is that the House passed the Equality Act, the amended Equality Act, because obviously the Equality Act was passed in '64. So yeah, it's basically it was for the protections of the LGBTQ people. It still has to go through the Senate. So while we're celebrating this is just like the impeachment, right? Like, the House successfully impeached Trump for the second time. Senate didn't for a second time. So I'm not trying to be pessimistic. Chances are it'll get passed through, because there are a lot of gay Republicans.
Okay.
Girl. Okay, so I'm going to. I had to stop myself from saying what I really wanted to say. I almost completely unleashed. I'm telling y'all, let me tell y'all something. I am at the edge, close to letting his mouth fly free, but the Lord, oh Lord, he grabbed the hell out this tongue and said, "Hey, son, not today."
Stop it. Stop it. That sounds
And
like
I
this.
oblige. I oblige.
I was
Lord, I
like,
hear you, and I'm retreating back to my corner.
all right.
Let's get to those meat and
Let's
potatoes.
get into the meat and potatoes. So this episode, like we said in the beginning, y'all. First of all, take a break, y'all. Step away. Get y'all, recollect and all that stuff. We gave a lot of y'all some hot topics and all that. So we're going to give y'all a little bit of time to step away.
Yeah, break time.
So I hope y'all are back. That was a little, I don't know, that was a run to the kitchen or to get y'all some snacks or something. But we are segueing now into the check-in portion of the episode. Today, we wanted to do a check-in with each other. Like we said in the beginning, we've had guests on I think the past 3 weeks. And we wanted to get back into where our mental clarity is at, physically, emotionally, spiritually, so that we can recharge and continue moving forward, because we know we are in a pizzeria. We are not in a space where we can engage with people fully. So I wanted to, I keep saying but we wanted to do this with y'all. So it's going to be me and Devin, but of course you all can take these questions back and do it with yourself. But
I
I
would
did
love
have
that. And
we
I
will
would
try
love
to
to hear the
post.
feedback from it too.
We will post these questions. We'll find out how to post these questions, the link to these questions on social media. We'll come up a little, something new.
Yeah,
But
let's do that. Let's do that.
definitely, I would emphasize that you ask these questions to a close friend of yours or one of your friends. And I also want to point out, please check in with your friends. Please check in with your friends. Please check in with your friends. It can be just a simple text saying, "Hey, how are you?" or "I love you," or just checking in. I think it is so important right now. We are coming on a year of being in a pandemic. And some of us, unfortunately, are losing connections with people because we are not able to be in physical proximity with each other. So I want to emphasize, check in, call your friends, tell them that you miss them or something of that nature, because you never know what they're going through at that time. So please just do that. But these questions, I definitely would challenge you all to have this with a friend, someone that you're really intimate with or close with, parent, whatever, partner. But we want to do this with each other. So the first question, just to get it off our chest, how are you feeling today? Really? Like, be honest, physically and mentally.
You told me to be honest.
Yes, girl, be
Why
honest.
don't you answer the question first?
I will. Okay, so um in the past, I think after our last episode offline, I was not in the greatest space mentally, physically, and emotionally. I have experienced burnout. Let me pour some of this because I've been experiencing.
It overflowed. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't wish that on you, girl, but
Oh my God, I've experienced. Hold on.
you all right?
So, like I said, the last episode, I was experiencing some burnout, just like with trajectory of where I feel like my life is going. A lot of self confidence, self worth, which is we're going to talk about those things too: self worth, self confidence. Excuse me. Self worth, self confidence, self esteem, and then one more of those conversations of self. But I'm going to follow up with that. But I've been definitely having these challenges of like having something to persevere or keep me pushing. So it's been rough. It's definitely been rough for me these past. So it is okay. So it is self worth, self esteem, self knowledge, and self confidence. So we're going to talk about a couple of those things as well. But it's been hard. I think it's just been isolation has been something that's been very hard for me. And then being in a space where I have to push myself to persevere. It's something that is very challenging, and it's something that is, I'm not the best cheerleader for myself. So it's really hard that I'm in this space where I have to do that because I'm in somewhat of an isolation. Like, of course, I can go out and try to see friends, but then that's also a fear because we are in COVID. We're still in this pandemic that if I go out and see somebody, unfortunately, they may have been exposed to it, or, I might contract it, whatever, in any space. So there's been a lot of excuse me, blah, going on in my life right now. And I think it's took a toll on me the last episode. Off camera, I cried to you about just
I
like
cry back.
I know, but it was hard. It's been hard for me. I'm glad that I'm waking up every day. I am trying to find my joy, my self worth, my self confidence, my self knowledge, and self esteem. But it has been hard, and I'm finding little things to get back into, and I've definitely said like just to be transparent, I also started getting back into YouTube, but I also took another break again, which is like not a break, but like I think mentally I'm just like exhausted. I don't have nothing that's pushing me to do anything.
Yeah,
So
I feel the same way. I feel the same
yeah,
exact way. It's
I
awful.
I'm wanting to pick up projects. I wanting to get back into things, but I don't have the fuel in me mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally to
Yep.
give it my all. Like the
Yep.
podcast, I'm giving it, but it's like I know I can give more. So that's
Yep.
where I'm at right now. How are you feeling?
I mean, just on that note, I think we're used to, you and I are two people who we like to do things, we like to be busy. And the fact that we're not able to do that, I think, is indicative of where we are spiritually. Every other day for me is a trial. Some days I can wake up at 7:30 and spend enough time like doing my little morning affirmations or meditation to make it through the day. Other days I get up like 5 minutes before work and I just put on enough clothes to decently go downstairs, log onto the computer, and whatever bullshit is in the store.
Yeah.
Um, Spiritually, sometimes I'm well, sometimes I'm not. Mentally, I am uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
There has been no mental stability. There's been a lot of confusion. Um, there's been a lot of like I know I want to cry. I know I want to cry because I be tearing up at Ugly Betty. So that means I'm waiting on an opportunity to cry. Like I'm waiting for a moment that feels appropriate to just like let it loose. I need some catharsis. Physically, I'm fine. I today was the first time because the sun was out that I was like, oh, I would love to do some physical activity today. I love working out outside. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to do inside activities like at all. The only time I would ever do inside activities was after my outside run, just to get like the core stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
So I have this little bit of faith that soon we'll be in a temperature where I can actually go outside and do things. I miss dancing. Oh my god, I
Oh
miss
my
it.
God. Okay. I do this hip hop fit class on YouTube every day now. And I tell you, it has been the best experience for me during this pandemic. I will send you the link after this, whatever. I don't know if, like you said, you like to work out outside. So,
Yeah.
but
The other thing is that this house is like was like built in the 70s. So like I be trying to shake my ass to 34, 35, and all I hear is on the fucking floor.
no, I mean, yeah, I get it. I've physically, I'm still working out. I'm still trying to work out. This hip hop thing has been something, but it's been hard. But what has been taking up most of your headspace right now? So what is something that is weighing heavy on you?
The first thing is that I'm so ready to be done with the professional workforce.
Mm-hmm.
I have finally accepted that it is completely out of my character, desire, and purpose to be in a professional, and that
Hallelujah.
isn't like not to do something professionally. Of course I can and will and want to do that, but to be in the non-profit or for-profit professional office space like workforce. I am not, it was never for me, it will never be for me, and I have accepted that, and I'm at peace with that fact. But what's on my head, what's in my headspace, what's taking up most of it is I don't currently know how I'm supposed to that change. Know how to change that, and I'm not trying to wait around for an opportunity, even though I know one is coming. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to just do actions just to do them, just because I'm being guilted or because I'm guilting myself, I should say, into being active. Like do nothing without intention. And the problem right now is
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot of intention.
Girl, literally the same thing. I don't have any intention with absolutely anything. A lot of what's taken up a lot of my headspace is there's uncertainty that I've been feeling with my job. I too do not want to be in the next, I don't want to be here. I don't want to work for anybody. Like the professional space. I would love for the podcast to be my job, period, or something of that nature, something that I really enjoy. Also, I am in debt, just being transparent, and my money is just being, going a lot to the bills that I have to pay off and things like that. It will work out. I know it was. We've talked about money in our last episode,
Absolutely.
but my
Absolutely.
headspace has definitely, this month, I am going to be in a better space, i.e., hopefully I get a raise. But recently money has been the focal point of like, oh, I can't do things because I have to pay bills, or will I be able to afford this or things like that. So my headspace has been worried about finances, uncertainty with my job, and then also like I don't have intentionality for absolutely like I can't. I'm waking up like when my alarm goes up. I always sleep through it. I will press snooze, and wake up an hour and 30 minutes later. Like I don't even wake up from my alarm anymore. So my headspace is just so consumed. Um,
And if you know yourself to be a person who would typically be up in time to get things done, I think that's significant. I think it
mm-hmm,
doesn't say you're being negligent. I think it says that there's your mind and your body and your spirit are calling out for something to change.
mm-hmm,
I think I know that I should be meditating more often. When I can meditate in the morning, it's a good feeling.
yeah,
I genuinely do feel good when I can meditate in the morning. But I mean, sometimes we just don't see ourselves as being able to.
yeah. When was your last full meal, and have you been drinking enough water? I'll go first.
Yeah.
I've been very intentional with meals. I have been definitely taking my health more serious. Recently, I found out some things about my health that I wanted to take more control of. So I definitely have been making sure I have more veggies, more green veggies like Brussels sprouts and asparagus in my diet. Last night I made some salmon, some Brussels sprout and potatoes. I'm very like, in this space, but I'm definitely eat full meals regularly. I do need to get back into drinking more water. I do drink a lot of water, but it's not to the point of like I think 100 ounces a day. But I definitely think I am replenishing my body with the necessities now, but I still don't feel motivated, So it's like my meals are fine, but it's still, I'm not having that go to energy. So, what about you? What is the last full meal you had, and have you been drinking enough water?
Thankfully, the last full meal I had was lunch. I have not eaten dinner, and I didn't really have any plans to.
I usually eat
Um,
after the show. I have some leftover salmon and asparagus potatoes.
I wish I had some salmon. I was actually gonna do a grocery list after we were done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have an interesting relationship with eating in general. And so I can see some of those habits popping back up. I shared this on Clubhouse in this group called Dragon
Dragon Slayers.
Slayers. Oh, I'll be talking about Dragon
Mm-hmm. Shout
Slayers,
out to the
honey.
Dragon Slayers. It's through.
Yes, honey. Um, so I'm as I noticed that I'm trying to be better about eating meals, but the problem is that, and I love to cook, I really do, but I have not had the energy. So I've been buying Greek food from a place that's probably like 7 miles away from here,
Mm-hmm.
and luckily it did not put me in the hole. It was actually I was
Mm.
able to do it financially without it like causing a dent in my finances. So I
That's
did
good.
that for as long as I could do it. I did it for lunch today. But that's why I got to work on this grocery list.
Mm-hmm.
Water. I haven't been to the last 3 days. I've made a very conscious effort to drink more water, so I keep filling up my like 50 ounce water bottle. Because I haven't been taking care of my body with water. I have not been hydrating, and then my skin ends up being the the victim of that. My
Yeah.
skin and my internal processes.
Ugh, I get that. Yeah, we're gonna work on that, sis. Get that grocery list after the show. The next one, I think I'm gonna combine these two. Um, how have you been sleeping? And I think we talked about this. What have you been doing for exercise? You start off since I started off last time.
For the last maybe month or two, maybe even 3, I haven't been sleeping well. At least not during the weekdays. During the weekends, I sleep very well. But something about knowing that I have to go to work the next day is causing me a lot of distress, I should say. I know that duress is a word. I just don't know that I used it correctly. Anyway, lots of waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, or maybe even just like an hour or two after I went to sleep. Um, Lots of waking up earlier than I should be, and I know that it's not my fault. Like I know it's not habits. A lot of the times it's just like overall stress, or
Yeah,
the fact that like working I think is stressful right now, and I know that this is not an experience that I'm having on my own. A lot of
you're
people
not.
right now who are still employed, it's so interesting. It's like a catch 22 because there are people, I know of people who wish they were working right now, but they don't know that it working right now for so many people is so stressful. The pressure of performing when you have these active stressors. Like people who are unemployed right now have the active stress of like financial burden. They've got the stress of like, am I going to be able to maintain my housing? They've got the
Mm-hmm.
overall stress of like, is the world going to plummet before I even get a chance to get my shit together? What about the pandemic? Am I going to, get COVID? And like those of us who are employed still have a number of those concerns.
Yeah,
Um, but so I'm trying to be grateful for being employed, but at the same time, I do get like I lose sleep when I have to work. Like I just do.
yeah. And have you been exercising? What have you been doing for exercise?
Nothing. I haven't exercised at all. I literally haven't done a single thing for exercising.
Sister.
Nothing.
Okay,
I
we
wish I could tell
gotta.
you that I danced or some shit.
That's be. I mean, we're being transparent, sis. We don't need to. This is what's helping us. This was we're trying to figure out. I definitely would recommend just taking 30 minutes out of your day, maybe going on a walk outside because you love outdoors. So maybe going on a walk. Maybe I don't want you to run because you love running outdoors, but the weather is getting nice. So let's anticipate this weather getting nice. Let's challenge to do. Let's try to think of a run. Let's try to think of a run, sister. Um, but I'm glad you were transparent. So for me, I in the since December, there was a problem with my sleeping that I had to address because I was waking up in the middle of the night every day at 2:30. Had to figure out was like with some health issues. Got that resolved. I've been taking some herbal like mood stabilizers before I go to bed, which has been very happy for me. I mean,
Good.
healthy for me. I have melatonin that I've taken some nights. It's not the greatest, but it's definitely okay. But
Helpful.
Tylenol PMs, those bitches put me out.
Okay.
And when I
Okay.
say they put me out, I sleep through the night. I
Oh
sleep.
wow.
I don't wake up.
Wow.
I don't wake up in the middle of the night like I used to. So I'm super excited that I'm like taking those. Please, be safe with those. Please
Yeah,
make
don't
sure,
overdose. Yeah.
don't overdose anything. But my sleep has been fine now. I don't go to sleep early. I go to bed around like 11 or 12 ish. I go to my room around 11 or 12 ish. Um, and then I gradually fall asleep and things of that nature. So I sleep until like 8 or 9, sometimes 10, sometimes. So my sleep has not been the issue. It's getting up for me. And like I've been saying to people, I work out more often, which I'm really proud of myself. I have been doing this hip hop fitness class every day for 30 minutes, which is super fun. Also, I go to my gym sometimes. Haven't been in my gym just because I don't like the extra work to go downstairs and go to the gym. And I could just be more comfortable in my apartment. And I like to do like fun type of workouts. I don't like actually like lifting weights. I used to run in
Yeah.
college and high school, but I don't like to like run in a treadmill. I would love to like you go on like a jog outside or something.
It's better. It's
So
more entertaining.
it is. So I've been doing this like hip hop class, which is really fun. So we're gonna get on you, sis. I'm gonna check in. We're gonna see how we can help each other, support each other on our fitness journeys, of course, because we love that. The next one, I'm gonna combine these two just for time's sake. What is something you can do tomorrow that will be good for you? And what is something you're looking forward to do in the next few days? So for me, what I definitely would like to do tomorrow that'd be good for me is to sit down and come up with a concept for my next YouTube video. Also, sit down and put down some concrete actionary steps for the podcast as some things that we've discussed behind the scenes about some moving forward projects that we have, just so I can give you some updates on that. Um, Also, getting more fresh air.
Mm.
So tomorrow, I definitely am going to try to. I can say sit here and say this. Something I would love to try to do is go outside, and then work on some actionary steps for the podcast, and then also um, a YouTube idea. And what is something that you're looking for in the next few days? I am looking forward to a conversation with my job about where the future lies. I think that is something that I'm really excited about because that will give me something to feel grounded in,
Yeah.
because it's been very much on my head. Also, hope there's a conversation about something else that I don't want to say again, but I'll raise. Look, I'll raise. Um, but in the next few days, yeah. And then it's going to be the weekend when it's while we shoot, it's going to be the weekend. But when we drop air this, it's going to be Monday. But what about you? What is something that you can do tomorrow that'll be good for you? And what is something that you're looking forward to in the next couple of days?
Tomorrow I can also probably go outside. I don't know. I could probably call some people just to see how they're doing, and I actually know what I can call my friend who just had a
Yay!
baby.
I know. I literally was about to be like, sister.
So when I called you, she had not had her baby. Like
I
she had
know.
the
Okay.
next 24 hours, she was just like trying. But yesterday they called me 10 minutes afterwards, but she had freshly had her baby. I'm just like one of the happiest things to happen in the last couple of months. I love new life. I was telling my roommates yesterday that I have this like I'm so protective of pregnant women.
Mm-hmm.
I just know pregnancy to be a really vulnerable time for women, also like one of the more dangerous times in their lives. So I feel like I just am so invested in their well-being. So I've been here like supporting her from my end of the world since she told me, and being able to be even a slight part of her baby coming into the world. It was just a really marvelous time for me. So I did last
Yeah, I
minute.
know.
So
I was so happy when we talked. I was like, oh my God, me and my sister are talking. No, okay, sorry. Don't I'm not making it seem like we don't talk. I'm just like was really glad that we like talked about like, the baby. I was like, oh my
yeah,
God, so cute.
I can't tell you how happy I am to witness life coming into the world. So I can call her tomorrow to see how she's doing, see how the baby's
Mm,
doing. The last time I saw a baby being born, it was my niece, and I'm so in love with her. So,
mm.
and over the next couple of days, something I can look forward to is this haircut on Saturday.
Ooh,
Praise the Lord. And maybe
yes.
too, just some time to relax, to rest, and
Yes.
try to make a plan for getting through the next week. Let me look at these questions real quick.
Mm-hmm. We only have two
One of the
more.
things that I think is a problem right now, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is true for
Yes.
you too, is we want um we want a change in our lives, a change towards the career we want. And we both know that we're at the brink of it because we can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
We are spiritually in tune enough to know that it's right there, but
Yes.
we are getting anxious about it. And I've tried to tell myself to just take a step back. All right, like don't anticipate success, don't anticipate opportunity, don't anticipate, you know, a a break or a relief from where you are, just simply be grateful for what you have right now.
Yeah.
Try your best to stay present and, make yourself feel good in the meantime. But I think it's becoming really difficult because of where we are, because of the
Mm-hmm.
situation that we're in collectively,
Yeah.
and because we're not getting what we need from where we are right now. And that is
Yes.
something that we can absolutely speak. We can name not getting what we need right now. We can
Yeah.
be grateful and also name that.
Yes, to be transparent, specifically like with our podcast, we know we feel we're on the trajectory of success. And I think it's the uncertainty of where it's going to come from.
Or what it's
That is
going to look
something,
like.
or what it's going to look like. I am being transparent in that space, and also wanting to get the recognition that we deserve is something that I'm just like, I know it's going to come. Where is it going to come at? And all of these things. I think I'm in a space of like, I am hungry. I want it. I know it's going to happen. Just not knowing where it's going to come from is the thing that is like, ugh, like we're like, pushing through. We're making these episodes. We're doing the content. We're elevating every time we come in front of our listeners and our viewers and all that stuff. But there is something still in the back of my head that feels like people aren't giving us the credit that is due. And we are on our 69th episode. Okay.
My brain was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize you've been doing this for 2
We're on
years. And
our
I was like,
69th
yeah.
episode, and we tell people to brag. We tell people to be confident in themselves and all that stuff like that. And rightfully so, we should be confident in our content and our things of that nature. Of course, if there's some, tweaks and some things that we need to reflect on, by all means, we'll take that in and we'll do it. However, I feel like it's something that is missing in people, like not buying into us, but just like giving us our credit when it's due. We have not yet, and I'm very passionate. We have not yet been on other people's podcasts, and we've had so many people come on, and yeah, for me right now, just being transparent, not being on other people's platforms yet, or speaking about what we, our platform and things of that nature, kind of is something that I'm wanting to see more happen in our future. And I'm like, I know it's going to happen somehow, some way. But that is definitely something I'm like, we bring people onto our platform. We giving people, their space and their time, but people need to give us ours too. And I don't know if that's something I need to work on, and I need to not be so like, when is it going to happen? But I just am like, y'all, I'm being sick. I'm like, I'm confident in our platform. I'm confident. And, I'm going to keep working. I'm not going to, but I definitely am like, come on, Jasmine Sullivan. Come on. But yeah, I'm just like, come on, y'all.
On that note, for me, it's not so much like that. It's not even that I want the recognition. I mean, I do. I obviously would love for people to recognize the work that we put into this platform, but I think I just want it to be working for me in a different way than it is. Like, I just want this platform to mean something else to my career. Like, I think my biggest concern in my life right now, fuck love, fuck all that other shit.
Fuck love.
Like, is my career. It is what I am doing with my life. And I am so, I think, on one hand, being happy that you're done with the professional realm, and then also not, like, I just want to be done with that shit. I want it to be a chapter of my past, because mentally it already is. Mentally, I have no stakes in it. I'm beyond saying, oh, I'm gonna do blah 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 so I can improve my resume. Fuck that resume. It's not the resume I want to be working on, so it's not the resume I care about. At this point, like, it's like, look, I'm here to do this job. I'm gonna do it, but we're done. I'm no longer at the point where I'm even trying to delude myself into thinking that that's something I want to work towards. So that means that I am looking for my creative endeavors, because this isn't the only one for either of us, to be the career. And as creatives, it is already stressful enough trying to figure out how you're going to make that happen. I mean, we have creators come on this platform regularly, who are just trying to make sure that their careers are sustainable and good for them, and we happen to be in that same boat. But I think that's what makes this a beautiful platform for us, because we're not people who are on a pedestal, inviting people like, oh, here's your opportunity at greatness. We're all trying to figure it out the fuck together.
Yes. That is so important. I love that notion because it's like we are wanting to figure it out too. We are wanting our guests to figure it out as well, and we want it to all come tenfold, right? We want it to all come when it is needed, when it is best for us, when it is all of those things. And I think for me, I think it's the more recognition, the more we're in the space of like success. Because like I said, I want to be out of the professional world too, sis. And I think that's why I'm just like, bitch, give us some opportunities where I can inch away from it.
Yeah, I get that. I totally understand where you're
Yeah, that's my mindset. It's not, I need y'all to put me on and talk about it. It's just like I need to be put in spaces or opportunities, or I need to put myself, not have them come to me. Let me change that. I need to be putting myself in these spaces. And I think it's trying to figure out how do I do that is something that I'm trying to work through.
I
But
think we're also looking for incremental growth, and
yeah,
like we see it sometimes in certain ways, but it's not going to be linear, and we're going to have like periods where we're just like doing this as we have seen. We're
yeah.
just like, when I joined this podcast, like
Yes,
I
be
think for like
transparent,
the
sis.
first couple of months, like we weren't seeing like tremendous progress, but that
Yeah.
didn't matter to me because this was a place I could come through, talk with my good sis, like get my opinions out there, like have fun conversations that I can't have during the workday.
Yeah.
It's always been a place of refuge for me. Like even in this very moment, I'm saying things that I haven't said out loud to people that I feel like would not understand this emotion or this feeling.
Yeah.
But like this is a space that we created for people to be themselves and so much more. And we too. Whoa.
Oh, oh, sis.
We too have the opportunity to be ourselves and so much more.
Yeah. I think
And
it's yeah.
yeah, I think it's just, this is a blessing for us, even if it won't, if it ended up not being what we thought it would be. We're
Mm-hmm.
always going to be able to walk away from this and feel like we got something from it. And I think we're just
Yes.
hoping that that can manifest itself physically.
Yeah, that is that. We are just black boys, like I said in the beginning, who love black boys, and that is something that we are passionate about. I am passionate about, and I want others to get on that same wave too. And I think that's why I'm just like, ugh, we are just. I'm loving. It is rare. It is so rare, and I'm being honest in my thoughts. I don't see that love happening all the time. And that's why we have this. And that's why I'm so hungry. And that's why I'm just like, bro, we need this, right? We need this platform out here. We need that. And that's why I'm just like, give us that space, give us opportunity. We will show you why this is important. We will show you why this is necessary. We will show you that we need to heal and we need to be loved and we need to be represented and we need to be there. And I'm just like hungry for it. And I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen, but it's just one of the dilemmas that I'm in right now. I think we're both in is our creative spaces being that vessel of joy, happiness,
Abundance.
success, abundance, all of that. Because we have the determination, we have the potential. Is just aligning the things up to make it there, and it's going to happen for us. But it's just like us just telling our feelings and us just saying how we feel in the moment and all of that stuff. And then let's just do these last two of our check-in with each other. What is something we can do together this week, even if we're apart, even because we're going to be apart, but we come together sometimes. And what are you grateful for right now? So for me, I think something that we can do together is check in with each other. I love when we check in with each other. We check in with each other a lot. We are not just co-hosts; we are actually best friends. And oh my god! And I just appreciate the space that we've created with each other and the opportunities we have together. I am glad that I'm doing this with you, but I think something we can do this week together is just like check in on each other's well-being, like we always do, and of course, talk about projects about how we can make that Black Boy Joy even
Oh, okay, I was ready to say,
even
I don't know if
better.
I'm ready to talk about projects, but yes,
Listen, we
the podcast project.
we after we shoot, we have a little dabble, which all of that.
The rest
But
of the creative stuff I'm not ready for.
we got it. Listen, transparency, me either, but I'm working on it. But yeah, I think for us, it's the mental check-ins that I think we can do for each other. We try to hold so much for the podcast, but like if y'all listen to me, this is me and Devin on a regular basis, y'all. We just have put mics in front of our face. Me and Devin, when we talk,
like we'll be having conversations and be like, oh, we should stop this right now and just for the podcast.
we should
we will genuinely carry this shit on like just between the two of us.
And I think it's so important.
We just do it right here. Like we pause our conversations and we resume them when we come on this podcast because we want it to be something authentic. Like I'm not trying to serve y'all no bullshit on a platter. Like this is not no shit that I'm like concocting, trying to like persuade y'all into no shit. Like this is not about a show. This is about my life.
It's the thing about it is like we give y'all who we are. Of course, there is like, parameters and things of that nature, of course. However, there's boundaries. However, this is us and we can only be us and we can only be who we are with each other. So there's no fake shit. There's no like, when we come on the camera, no, girl, this is how we talk to each other offline. So that's why I call him my sister, girl. I call him by his actual name, which I need to work on. But it is something. So this weekend we can just continue our mental check-ins and our self-love for each other and our affirmations. And what are you grateful for right now? I am definitely grateful for the relationships that I'm strengthening right now as we speak. I am also grateful for still being alive, still being healthy, still being active, even though I'm in a space mentally, emotionally, and like sometimes physically of not knowing the trajectory of things. Deep down in me, I know I'm good. There's success coming. There's some joy in me. There's some happiness. If there was none of that, I would not be in front of this camera with y'all to this day. So I know that there is that, and I'm grateful of that. Of course, this platform, but I am so happy with the friendships that I have kept with throughout COVID. I am so happy with who I have in my circle right now. It is a blessing. And I want to repeat, it is a blessing to have queer friends that are healthy, happy, and able to translate their emotions and feelings with you. Yeah. I appreciate that, sis. I appreciate our friends that are queer and things of that nature, because we are dealing with this and who we are every day. And I just absolutely love.
Wow, so many problems.
So many problems. I love the openness and candidness and vulnerability that we allow ourselves to do in a safe space. Nobody's being forced to, talk about things. I love that I have that relationship with you off camera and on camera, and just our friends off camera and on camera as well, even people that we bring onto the show. I'm so grateful to have spaces where people, because little do you know, after we get off the show, we are not done. When the cameras stop rolling or when the cameras don't roll, we are still talking to our guest. And we are still talking to ourselves. So we have to cut it off at a certain point, but I'm just grateful that there is some form of healing that happens in my friend circle and also with the podcast. So I'm so grateful for that.
Me too.
I'm just like,
I definitely am gonna second that, checking in. We could all probably try to be a little bit more present in the group message.
What?
So many group messages on my phone, and I'm like, because then when we get in person, it's fine. We're talking, and it's like not an issue. But like on text message, we're just like,
we'd be like,
some of us are not, some of us are there. Like it's never consistent. So I'll make an effort to be more present in our group message.
We'd be like, where's Devin at?
I'll be looking at the messages like,
you'd be like, okay, I see where, let me jump in. Nope, I'm good. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like, is my commentary needed right here? Nah, that'll be fine. What I'm grateful for right now, first and foremost, I'm grateful to have a place to lay my head. I am grateful to have money to put food on my table, and to do some of the things that bring me joy. I can't do all of them, but I can do, a good number of them that I know that there are people in this world who cannot, in
Yeah.
this country who cannot. Um, I am so thankful to have people who love and support me, and to know that that support is so much more present or clear to me now than at any point in my life. Like, I truly know who is here to support me and how much they are.
Yes.
All of my relationships feel stronger. They feel like they've gotten stronger in 2020. Um, and I'm grateful for opportunity. I'm grateful to have finished my first film. Like, it never really hit me that, like, this is the first movie I'll ever be in. And I
I'm
got
so
the lead
excited.
for it. Like, I really got the lead for it. Like, um, they my director sent me the poster, and I'm looking at, like, me. I'm looking at, like, my body. I'm looking at, like, what I sat
Yay!
there and did work for, and I'm like, wow, this is so neat. Um, I am so grateful. As much as I yearn in this very moment, I have so much to be grateful for. You and I have so much to be grateful
Yeah.
for. Ultimately, I'm grateful for this podcast, for this platform, for the things that I've learned, for the skills that I've developed as a result of it, for the friendship
Mm-hmm.
that we've built as a result of it, for the people who have come into my life as a result of it. I mean, truly met some people who have changed my perspective of things. I'll never forget interviews like Bashal, like David.
Yay!
I'll never
Yay!
forget, interviews like Duran Bernard, like,
Yeah.
what? He's with Davon and Trayvon, the
Yes.
amazing time we had with Gary, the fun time we had with Drew. Like, and there's so many more, and
Yes.
there's so many more, and we've gotten a chance to interact with these people we
Yeah.
would never have met otherwise.
Yeah.
So I am abundantly grateful, and even as I continue to strive for things as I move forward, I will never forget that I am so blessed. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I think that is I think it is important for our listeners and our set and us as well is to acknowledge things that we are grateful for in this moment. I think we need to be vocally happy. We need to express our happiness more, and I think we need to be able to vocalize things that are grateful because we are quick to talk about the things that are making us feel down, and the things that are like not motivating us, and all of that. But I think it's also important to remind ourselves that um, we are great. There's grateful things in our lives that we just need to like vocalize. So I wanted us to end on that note, and I wanted our listeners to hear that as well, because through me and Devin and you all going through what is happening with the pandemic, with the mother nature taking over itself in certain, areas of the world, financial burdens and all of these things, you all are alive to even hear us talk, which you all should be grateful for as well. Like that
You
is something
know,
that is that is a grateful. Like the fact that you can still hear us right now shows that you are doing the things to push yourself forward. And I am so happy that you all are on this journey with us. And we do have some resources that we'll hopefully post on our platform about burnout, the conversation of self-worth, self-confidence, self-knowledge, and self-esteem, because those four things are things that we are dealing with as humans that we can definitely be better at to keep ourselves persevering. And then also these questions that we have with ourselves on the platform. So we will definitely find a way to give you these resources as well to help you all persevere like we are, because it is important, and we love you all, because without you all, we wouldn't be here. You all wouldn't be here, and we just want to help each other love. We want to heal. We want to have everybody be in great spaces. So I appreciate Devin and you doing this with me. Of course, this is always something that we do offline, so it's nothing new. We just did it on camera with people. But yeah, also we shout out to Samson. Samson. I'm gonna just say his first name because shout out to Samson and Donnie and what is the other? Oh my god, brain
Oh,
fart. Anthony, yes.
Anthony Bond.
Loved Anthony Bond. Love the One You Are With. It is on
I
Amazon
love it.
Prime. It is a
Yes, it
great
is.
movie, queer movie about just navigating relationships in life. Really
So
proud of
hilarious.
Samson. All of our guests that we've spotlighted as well. It's so amazing. So y'all should check it out as well.
Yeah, so like that was so interesting to see. Like I was like, okay, so we've had one of the cast members on the show, and the other two have been actual like Black Boy Joy spotlights. So watching that, I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. And the movie
Yeah.
is hilarious. Oh my god, I laughed so much. I was in this bed screaming.
Cracking up.
Girl.
So yeah, shout out to Samson and all of his co-star. I mean, the stars of the show, and then also just like check it out. But with that being said, you all, thank you for listening to this episode with us. Like we always do, you can follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at _Lord Every. That is _LORDEVERY.
And you guys know that you can follow me on Instagram at Derwin King. That's DERWINKING. And on Twitter at Free Negro. That's FREENEGREAUX.
And if you all would like to continue the conversation on the podcast platform, you can hit us up at That Black Boy Joy on Instagram and Twitter. And if you all would like to write in or be a guest on the show, you can hit us up at our Gmail information account at That Black Boy Joy Gmail at That Black Boy Joy podcast at gmail.com. I was so close to doing that. And also check us out on YouTube where you can see the visuals of our episodes as well. But like we always say, and I really genuinely mean it, and we both mean it as well, please be so in love with who you are because you cannot be anybody else.